Thank you very much, present team member. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, very well.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to share with us something. Count it a privilege, because sharing is a strength. And I am Lydia Mwesa, as our PT has said, and I want to bring my greetings and the greetings of my family to each one of you, our leaders. And I'm grateful for my colleague distributors. I am believing that all of you are here, or some will be joining us. But the topic that has been given to me is thyroid health, as you might have noted in the Zoom announcement. And I want to just talk a few things about thyroid health, but perhaps I'll start by us talking about the meaning of thyroid. Okay? The thyroid is a gland, actually one of the endocrine glands, which is situated around the neck at the front. Actually, they say between the collarbone and the larynx, which is also called Adam's apple, somewhere there at the front. And it has great functions, as small as it is, so that we don't even recognize it. You may not touch it until it is unaware and it's swollen, but it has great functions. And I want us to mention some of them. In fact, majorly, what it does is it controls the metabolism of the whole body, metabolism of the body, because it is able to produce some specific hormones, mainly two, that activate our cells, our body cells, to be able to regulate the energy that the different parts of the body needs to perform their functions. Okay? So those are very important functions that the thyroid gland has, because it is the one that regulates these hormones, how much the hormones, and therefore what should be the rate of the functions by the different organs of the body. For example, the hormones are able to regulate the heart rate, how fast the speed of the heart, even the rate, how our muscles should work, how much work, and it also regulates the brain development, digestive functions, and bone. It maintains, the hormone is able to have the body maintain bone development, growth and development, and so on and so forth. So the whole body metabolism is managed by these two hormones that are produced by this very important gland called the thyroid. And just like any other organ of the body or part of the body, the thyroid gland can get sick. And I just want to mention a few of the ailments that may attack the thyroid gland. Okay, of course, we say that the thyroid gland is sick when it begins to produce either more hormones that are called thyroxine or less. So if it produces too much, then that's an abnormality. The thyroid gland is sick. If it produces less than it should for formal functioning and effective functioning of the body organs, then it is also sick. And perhaps just to mention the most common ailments of the thyroid gland, let me call them three. One is called the hyperthyroidism, where the thyroid gland is producing too much hormone, too much thyroid hormone than it should, too much. Therefore, as a result, it overfunctions, it overworks. And that condition is called hyperthyroidism. And then the second one is hypo, the PO, thyroidism. I hope I'm not too fast. So the first is hyperthyroidism, the second is hypo. This is obviously, of course, when the thyroid gland produces too little of the thyroid hormone that should produce, and therefore the functions of the body are affected in either way. Then the third is called goiter. A goiter actually is when you see a swelling outside the neck at the front. It is a thyroid gland that is swollen. It can be swollen, of course, to indicate that it is sick. Okay, and of course there are other problems that may come to the thyroid gland, but I don't want to really talk about too much of the illnesses. But these are the most serious conditions that attack the thyroid gland. And in whichever it is, the person becomes sick, okay? And therefore the metabolism is not the way that it should be. And therefore the person or the patient should see a health practitioner, a doctor, to be of this problem to be addressed because it is serious, okay? Now, the symptoms of these illnesses, especially the hyperthyroidism and the hypothyroidism, can be very similar to symptoms of other diseases that we may have. And this is why I usually say that I had the issue of hypothyroidism, where my thyroid gland was under functioning. And for the first 5 years, the physicians were treating me for various things, because I would just talk about the symptoms. I have a headache, my back is aching, my legs are aching, I'm having difficulties in swallowing, I'm constipated, you know, I'm too tired by 10 a.m. in the morning. I want to go back to bed. Actually, I was doing my one of my degrees, you know, I was in college. It was very difficult until, by God's grace, they sent me for a thyroid function test. That's when they realized that I had hypothyroidism. And when I started to receive treatment, that helped me. Treatment is, they were giving me a man-made artificial hormone that is being made in the lab to add to the little hormone that my thyroid gland was producing. And that helps. So whenever one is sick with thyroid, they must see the doctor. I also want to mention that the thyroid problem can attack anyone, men, women, even teenagers, the elderly, whatever the age. But I also want to add even infants, okay? Because they say that a thyroid disease can be present at birth. A child can be born with, especially hypothyroidism is the condition that mostly babies are born with. Okay? But it can also develop, if the baby is born with it, then it develops as they age. Okay? But even if we are not born with it, it can get one at any age, whatever the age, you know, one is. So it doesn't have a specific age. And they say that hypothyroidism usually attacks women. The women are the majority that suffer from hypothyroidism. Okay. So what are some of the causes of thyroid disease? Just in brief. Okay. Just in brief. Perhaps you may notice that somebody has a swelling, as we have put it, a goiter here, and that may infer some kind of infection of the thyroid. It may also infer some cancer. Okay. So when you see that swelling there, then definitely the thyroid gland is going to be sick if there is an infection around it. Okay. And this swelling can more often than not lower the amount of hormones the thyroid gland produces. So and that also contributes to the swelling, because the thyroid gland is not functioning well, it is swollen. That swollenness, that infection can lead to a thyroid problem. Then number two, a thyroid disease can also be as a result of an autoimmune condition, where the body cells, as we know it, attack the cells of the thyroid gland. So cells attacking cells. And this can lead to a disease with the thyroid. And they say that when the cause is autoimmune, most probably this person was born with it, was born with the thyroid malfunctioning. Okay? Then perhaps cause number three is iodine deficiency. Iodine deficiency. Iodine, we know that it's an element that the thyroid gland uses to manufacture the hormones, the thyroxine hormones that regulate the body metabolism. So when it is short, when we don't have enough, then the thyroid gland is not able to produce enough hormones for the work, and the person would begin to suffer from this deficiency, and therefore the thyroid gland will begin to be sick. Okay. Another cause of thyroid disease is a non-functioning thyroid from birth, where the baby is born with the thyroid gland not functioning, not functioning at all. And many times when it is not noticed that the thyroid gland is not functioning, then the child begins to suffer from a thyroid malfunctioning disease. And in fact, it may affect their physical and mental development, okay, in the future as they grow up. So that is why many times, the medical practitioners advise that every baby born should have their blood screened in the hospital to check their thyroid function, so that in the event that there is a problem or it is not functioning, it is addressed. They begin to get help of the medication. Then number 5 cause of thyroid disease is diabetes. Among other chronic diseases, diabetes has been known to be one of those that cause disease to the thyroid, so that the thyroid is not functioning properly. And so that is to say, therefore, that the thyroid gland, though a small part of the body, needs to be taken care of. It must be healthy for me to be healthy, for you to be healthy, because it is maintaining all the functions of the body, that all the works, all the metabolism, the systems, the way the systems in the body work. It has to be healthy for that to happen. So how do we maintain thyroid health then? How should we maintain thyroid health? Because it's very, very critical. Of course, basically, we need to eat iodine-rich foods, foods that are rich with iodine. For example, some of the foods are like fish and the other seafood, say fish, okay? Fish, especially cod COD and the tuna, are very rich with iron. And so we need to put ourselves on that, to eat that food as often as we can, because then we'll be assured of our immunity. Immunity is good, because we have seen that one of the causes of this is the thyroid gland disease. It can be autoimmune. It can be low immune, because if there is the cause is autoimmune condition, then it means our immunity is not good. The person's immunity is not good. So they need to eat food that will boost the immunity. And one of those is fish. Fish, as we know it, fish oil will also reduce inflammation, because we have seen that more often than not, when the thyroid is sick, it may tend to swell up, and you can see the swelling outside. Sometimes you may not even see it. When this disease that I had, hypothyroidism, was severe, I wasn't even swollen. I never swelled on the neck. That's why it took so long for the people in the hospital to know that I had the issue. But I could feel sometimes I'm clogged up, you know, on the inside here. Something is clogging me up, like I swallowed a big peremende sweet, you know, by accident, something clogged, or a big ugali just went down, clogged inside here. Not too much, I would still eat and breathe, but I could feel something. So sometimes perhaps it's swollen in the inside, I don't know. But we need to have inflammation controlled so that it doesn't affect even our thyroid gland to swell. Then another type of food is dairy products, dairy, you know, animal products, some animal products, including yogurt, milk, and the cheese, because they have vitamin D, and vitamin D is known to improve thyroid, you know, the thyroid antibodies. Antibodies are the protective aspects of the thyroid gland from infections. And those foods are very good at that. We need to protect the thyroid. Then type number 3 of food is the nuts, N-U-T-S, nuts. You can talk of the different nuts that you know, the peanuts and other nuts that are good for human consumption. Those ones are good because they have a mineral element called selenium. It's very concentrated in selenium. I mean, in nuts have selenium concentrates in them. And therefore, because selenium is a good chemical that oxidates, you know, it brings about cleansing and neutralizing of anything that may be in our blood system that may cause us to be sick. Okay, so it helps in cleansing. It's called oxidating, you know, and that boosts immunity of the body and therefore of the thyroid gland. So nuts are good. And of course, we need to eat iodized salt, which we also call a table salt, because it has iodine to increase the iodine amount in our bodies. Okay. Then we also need to eat whole grains, you know, the grains that we know as we know them. Okay, because they reduce constipation. Constipation is one of the major symptoms, especially of hyperthyroidism. Most of the time, the person is constipated if they are not taking care of that. So whole grains would be good. And then the fresh fruits and vegetables, of course, for immunity, and also to manage our weight, because some conditions of thyroid gland may tend to add weight to the body, okay, and especially hypothyroidism. And I remember when I was just beginning to realize that I had this, and they discovered it was hypothyroidism before they started treating me, I tended to look fat. You know, like people would talk about fat. And because I was the head of a school, they said it is because now I was a big person and I was eating well. Or perhaps I was, or eating badly, I don't know. But I know one of the reasons was the condition. So fresh fruits and vegetables would help. Then beans, because they also help maintain the energy. And especially if one has a malfunctioning thyroid, the energy may not be well coming to the body cells to manage the rate at which you know, our body is working, our systems are working. So beans are very good, and the fiber is also good. You know, it reduces the constipation, things like that. But because we also know that even though we have listed, or we know the things that we should be eating for a healthy thyroid gland, we know that sometimes we don't get enough. There's always a deficit in the food that we eat daily. They will not have enough iodine. Then we can't get the right fish all the time, the dairy products, the right ones, and the nuts, and so on and so forth. Eating enough whole grain, we know our meals are short. And therefore, that is why we need to bring in the New Life solution that we have. And the New Life solution. So here we are talking about what supplements does New Life have that we can take so that our thyroid gland remains healthy. Because we need to supplement what we are eating, because it doesn't give us enough of what we need for a healthy thyroid gland. One of those is ProVitality, of course. Why ProVitality? Because it has TNN. We need the proper, the right whole grain and the proper amounts. And we can get that in ProVitality through TNN. And we know now with this whole grain will not be constipated, and our gland is going to be healthy. We are going to be protected from hypothyroidism and other issues of thyroid gland that may come as a result of shortage of the proper and the proper amount of whole grain. Then it also has, ProVitality has carotenoid from fruits and vegetables, fresh, well packaged. And of course, as we have said, we need to top up our immunity. They have vitamins that will top up our immunity. And when our immunity is up, then our thyroid gland is going to be taken care of. Then there's omega-3 salmon oil plus, which is the best fish oil, because when we take it, it will reduce inflammation. So our thyroid gland will be protected from inflaming, and it also gives us good heart health, takes care of the heart, brain health, and so on and so forth. It also boosts immunity, and that's important. Then it has the multi. The multi it has very key vitamins and minerals that we know, and these replenish our body cells. And this, as a result, leads to a healthy thyroid gland. In fact, it has very good selenium, as we mentioned, the chemical that oxidates our body and hence our thyroid gland, so that it is clean, it has no taka-taka, and it reduces inflammation. In fact, it also strengthens our immunity system. The other product, other than ProVitality, is multimineral and alfalfa. It has iodine and calcium that promote thyroid gland function. So iodine is a very essential component here. It will help the thyroid gland manufacture the right amount of hormones. Okay? Now, they say that the thyroid gland uses iodine to be able to make just what is needed of the thyroid gland, and that's very important to us. It also helps the thyroid gland to control, of course, the body metabolism. Then the third product is vitamin C, as we know it, vitamin C, SR, sustained release. Of course, we know it will raise the immunity, and it also prevents bad digestion, by the way. So it will prevent constipation and strengthen our blood vessels so that they can work well. The fourth product is vitamin E, which increases oxygen content in the blood. By the way, it is an antioxidant. It removes uchafu from our systems, uchafu mwingine that can bring illnesses and cause the thyroid gland to be sick. Then lastly is the vitamin A and D. Vitamin A and D from Neolife will give us good vision. Of course, we know that, but it will also help our bones to stay strong, to be developed, those that are still developing, especially our children and other younger people. and also to maintain strength in our bones. It will also increase immunity, okay? And it will bring about healing of the body tissues. And this includes, of course, the thyroid tissues, because that's part of the body. So we really do need these supplements, to be taking them. And I have been taking them. This is why I was shown these. I was also in Provitality when I joined, but there was TNN and carotenoid. They were separate, so they were there, and I took them. And for sure, that's when I say that when I came to New Life, I was 28 years with suffering from thyroid malfunctioning, with the doctor's medicine helping me, but I started to suffer from side effects. High blood pressure came. Another time there was scurry, blood sugar was rising up. They put me in more medication. But when I came to New Life, they introduced me to these supplements. I joined and bought them and started eating them. I eat them to date, okay? Because after all, we need to maintain the health of our thyroid, okay? So I need to be on them all the time, not more than you. You too, each one of them needs to be using these supplements when you are targeting a healthy thyroid gland, okay? So I used them for 6 months, and the doctor declared me safe from high blood pressure and safe from diabetes. And 3 years and 8 months down the line, the doctor said that my thyroid gland was functioning normally. And I know it is functioning normally because I am alive today and I'm not suffering from these symptoms as I used to suffer, even when I was taking the doctor's medication. And I want to thank God for New Life, okay? So I still take them because prevention is better than cure. And I want to urge each one of us, please, to be taking supplements geared towards maintaining our thyroid gland health. So thank you very much for listening to me. I appreciate. I hope you've learned something. But I know where you've not learned, I mean, you may not understand, you can ask me later, or you can even read more. I know you can do that. So without much ado, because I have a dear colleague here waiting for me to finish, so that she also gives us something very nice, I want to return the meeting to our PTs. Thank you very much.
Wow, Lydia, thank you very much for that informative session. You've really done a great job. Congratulations are in order. That is called mastery of content. And we thank God because you've also been able to use the products. They've worked for you. And I've seen you. Since you joined the business in 2012, I saw you coming, you were very sick, but I thank God because now you have the energy, your thyroid is normal, and that is why you have the authority and the confidence to talk about the products. So superstars, I believe we have made our notes. It's really exciting. Learning from some of these people who have been seasoned in the business is very important. That's why attending this training is really, really important if you want success. And even how to go and approach our customers outside there. There are so many people suffering from thyroid gland, so a problem. So I want to, we now want to move to the next step because we have another speaker who is going to talk about, to us about this bit of the business. Now, because we say that the money is in the products and the power is in the network. How do we get this network of consumers of the New Life products? People getting good health from using the New Life products. So this is where we need a good name list and we need to know how to contact these people and help them with the opportunity. And you know what? In our Superstars team, we are so resourceful because at the end of the day, if you find somebody who has an issue with thyroid, you can even recommend them to talk to Lydia Mwesa. So that's now the bit of teamwork that we are doing as a team. So without much ado, I want to invite our next speaker, a very, very excited lady. This lady is really going places. The fact that the way she's doing her business, she's also been in the business for quite some time, and I know she's going to give us the best resources that we are going to learn today. So let's welcome Phoebe Lebanon. Phoebe, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, and move on.
Okay. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you also, Lydia. I usually enjoy the way you articulate your presentations. They're usually so nice. As you have heard, my name is Phoebe Lebanon, and I've been tasked with speaking about prospecting and also the name list. And so I'll just go straight to it. And I'll begin first by a definition of what prospecting is. So prospecting, this is the first step in the sales process, which consists of identifying potential customers, that is the prospects. So it is the first step where we start in the sales process and we identify these people who can be potential customers, who we also call them prospects. The goal of prospecting is to develop a database of likely customers and people to join the business, and then systematically communicate with them in the hopes of converting them from potential customer to current customer. So it's not only about the customer, but also you want people also to join your business. And so it is just having a database. And this database, you develop it and you continue developing it systematically as you continue communicating with them in the hope of converting them to either potential customers or to be the current customers. So when we look at the network marketing industry, many people, when they join, they believe they can just, they know they'll just succeed. And sometimes they believe that they just succeed by knowing many people. But actually that is far from the truth. So there are three kinds of people who join the network marketing industry. So we have the posers, we have the amateurs, and we have the professionals. In prospecting, posers will make just a list of about 3 or 4 people and then put all their faith and base everything, their future on this, the response of these 3 or 4 people. And actually these are the people who comprise 80% of the people who join network marketing. So they just believe that there's some lack somewhere, so that the few people they have actually listed down will be able to actually join them. And I relate to this because I think I was actually a poser. And I remember one time when I was given a list to write some names. I believe that time it was just part and we had a physical meeting. And I was given a list to actually write. And I could see people writing around me. And I felt the way you can feel in an exam room where everybody seems to be having answers and you're there with a pen and you don't know what to write. And I remember, in fact, I just wrote, I think about 6 or 7 names, and I was just stuck because I could not even know. And we had been told, just check in your phone and just write it down. But it was very, who exactly is going to be on this list? So 80% of people who join this network marketing actually begin here, where they are possible, but you are not supposed to remain there. As you continue with training, you're supposed to improve and become even better at making your name list. So the second people who are in network marketing, these are the amateurs. So the amateurs, at least they begin very well. They make a list of even at least 100 people. However, as they continue going through the list and they see this list diminishing, they start having quite a lot of fear, not knowing how they are going to get any more people to prospect. So it is a skill to actually find quality people to prospect. So where we are working towards is being professionals, because professionals approach finding people to talk to as one of the skills, the main skills. They are not interested in luck. So the professionals actually begin, they make sure they never run out of the list. So they're never worried about running out of the list because they're consistently always developing the skill and making sure they have the people in their list. And this is actually called an active candidate list because it is always continuing to grow. So how do you come up with this candidate list? For the first time, the first step is actually having a comprehensive list. This includes everybody. You write everybody, even if you'll not be able to reach out to all of them. So you have to reach everybody. So it's a comprehensive list. So you think of everybody, your uncles, everybody, and you put them down on paper. Why should you put them down on paper? Because now it empties all the people you know, and you're able to now think of room to have new contacts to be added to your list. Also, each of these people, they know other people. So you keep on, you add them also, all the other people they know, you continue adding them to their list. And at this point, you should not be worried about who you're going to do, what you're going to do with the list. Just keep on building this list. And then the third step is constantly expand your list. Have a goal to add at least 2 people to the list every single day. This will be from the people you meet every day. Also on social media, you can meet people and so on. So you should pay attention to the world. You have to go out there, pay attention to the world, get introduced to new people every single day. And then lastly, you have to network on purpose. You have to find places, you have to find organizations where there are people, where you can be able to meet new people. Because this will be good, not only for your business, but you shall be able also to make some friends. So there is a way also online, in the way Neolife has helped us, so that we can be able to actually have a list of people, and this is called a landing page. If you're a new distributor, you're usually given 2 months where you can actually use the Team Neolife app. Whenever you find someone maybe online and they are ready to maybe watch a video or share a PDF, whenever you send to them, whatever they get on their end is usually a link. When they click on that link, what happens is that they get a landing page. A landing page is like a form where they would write their name, they would write their email, they would write even their number. And so once they have done that, that's when they'll be able to actually access that video. So we don't even need to really know much about using our computers, because actually Neolife has already made it easy for us that we can actually collect numbers, we can collect emails, you can follow up on email, you can follow up with the phone call, because someone can actually just click on it. If they fill that form, then on Team Neolife, you actually get automatically their contact, and you can be able to actually follow up on them. Another way also you can have a landing page is on a Facebook page. You can have your own Facebook page, and you can create a campaign, and then you call it a lead generation. So when you have a lead generation campaign, what happens is that you set in Facebook some form where if somebody actually clicks on either an advertisement that you have put up, Facebook actually gives you their contact, gives you their name, and also their email. So you can be able to follow up with them later. Of course, this one now comes with a cost. It is not free, because you have to pay for every click somebody clicks on your Facebook to get that contact that you're getting. But again, it is also one way of just trying to also add up on your list or continue having an active list. So that is it. I think I will stop there so that I can allow our PTs now to finish up this meeting for us. Thank you so much